G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talk Stuff, Ukraine War Update for the 25th of June 2026. I'm your host, the author David Applegate. While the war continues, I shall continue to bring you the news from both fronts. Now, the Sydney front has heated up. News from the Sydney front is there's intense daily warfare dominated by heavy Russian artillery and aerial bombardment. Border communities and communications in the region have been struck. Many phone lines and are destroyed. There has been an attack on fuel stations and Ukrainian positions. Ukraine claims to maintain full control of the region, strongly rejecting any claims of Russian occupation. Yet here we have on their own maps exactly that, Russian occupation. All right, so there are strong and heavy attacks on Sumy, up in the northern area here. They've called for evacuations. Now there's a lot of activity on the northern border. Most of it is just to draw off troops and burn, and it's a war of attrition, so they're going to burn down. They're not just going to damage, they're going to shatter as much as they can. The Russians are going to shatter as much of Ukraine as they can. We've yet to see deep strikes against bridges, but we may see that soon. Cutting roads and rail lines is common. Now we have a little bit of movement here on the north of Kupiansk. We have a breakthrough here in the now Russians do call this, I believe, the Lyman area, but all this is the Lyman front or Lyman area. They've had small breakthroughs throughout here, and as I said, they're shelling the Ukrainian positions. They're pushing to put pressure on Kremensk. There's still, we go to the Chavis Yar. Not much is happening in this front, but in the Koshnikovia, there's still ongoing street fighting. More of the road, more blocks under Russian control. They're trying to push the Ukrainians out. Now, as we go through the central frontier, well, it was often referred to as the Bovos front. So the Bovos front, as you can see, it's well past Provozk, moving in on this territory here, but for now, it seems to be on the side, the fanning out, and so far, not much happening there. A little bit of a breakthrough here, nothing much. Russians have a breakthrough here, but nothing big, nothing significant. But they have made a breakthrough heading back towards Tel Aviv, Tavati, which I forget exactly. But they've consolidated more of their positions here, taken more of Zelensky, and that's about it for the front. Though, in retaliation for many strikes on Crimea, and even if they're unsuccessful, Russia's hit Polovad, Dnipro, Ukrainian positions in Zaporozhye, and a position down here. Ballistic missile on a compound or warehouse in this area. So that's the state of Ukraine for now. Before I continue, this channel is sponsored by you, the viewing audience. So, your purchase is appreciated. Empire Valves, that's one word, empirevalves.myshopify.com, your one-stop shop for enchanting treasures based on my writing. Whether you want some dark magic, waifu, travel mug, water bottle, please and thank you. Your purchase is much appreciated. Thank you for your kind attention. All right, I accidentally left this video run. This is how drones are launched. A truck leaves a warehouse with a drone on top. It accelerates down the road and the drone flips into the air and takes off. Now, increasingly, these are jet powered, and you can see they're not actually too bad on maneuverability for a small drone. This is attacks on Krasnokovia, the industrial center in Krasnokovia. You can see there. Yeah, that's how they launch. Just you can see the warning signs. Yeah, these are all over. You got from Vostok all the way through eastern Russia. I think you get the message, right? I don't think you want to be walking on the field or the side of the road or anywhere near this area. Otherwise, see that guy back there? Oh, by the time you see him, it's too late. But other than that, there's nothing else to report. The Russians are increasing the range and speed of their drones. Any surprise? No. And you may say, well, they're attacking Ukraine with less drones. Why, yes, they are. But they're not, but they're still hitting the same amount of targets. So why would they launch more if they're hitting the targets they want to hit at an effective cost to destruction ratio? Where Ukraine increasingly has to use its slowly depleting assets to try and fend them off. Now, in retaliation for attacks on Crimea, Russia has hit several stations in Sumy and Zaporozhye. And we all notice, oh yes, Ukraine is transparent and tell us, well, some of them they did tell us. But not all the attacks by Russia on Ukraine are reported. They don't often tell us what they hit, but this is in retaliation for yesterday's attack on Crimea. But today, it's because the shoe's on the other foot. Zelensky's boo-hoo. Yeah. I've often warned you, anything you can do, Russia, they can do bigger. They have bigger bombs. They have bigger balls. They have bigger egos. Why are you surprised? Russia and Ukraine, almost the same people, almost the same language. Ukrainian is the derivative of Russian. Okay, it's derivative of Russian. It's the Slavic interpretation of Russian. Most of the people in Ukraine are mixed Slavs and Russians. A lot of the Rus came out of the mid area between the great power of Mongolia and the, what was it called again? It's, Lithuanian Commonwealth. Poland, Lithuania, and that, yeah. Of course, as you know, Poland's much bigger than it used to be. So the only country that's smaller than it used to be is Germany. No, we're not talking about we're talking about well before then. All right, so Russia and Ukraine duking it out in a war of attrition, and Ukraine is getting its comeuppance for attacking infrastructure in Crimea. But when Ukraine says, but when we do it, it's not fascism. Of course, comrade. Now, the Romanian ambassador has been summoned to the Russian Foreign Ministry. long story short, when a drone that turned out to be Ukrainian hit a building in Galakia, before waiting for the outcome of the investigation, Romania kicked out a Russian diplomat. So today, Russia is going to kick out a Romanian. We don't know who yet, but Romanian ambassador has been summoned, given 24 hours notice, and then it could be him. For all we know, it's usually the person they summon who's getting kicked out. Right, so Russian forces have expanded their control of an area in Zaporozhye. Ursula von der Leyen has been caught lying again. Ursula von der Leyen, Ursula always lying, Merkel 2.0, Mrs. Brigitte, Photobomb Maloney, and British Prime Minister 2-tier Keir. Did I say Keir or Queer? Granny Harmer have a secret chat group in which they which they send secret messages to Zelensky and then delete the messages. That's against the European transparency rules. The European Court will New York Times is even reporting on this, but hey. No money, no behind the scenes, no stories from behind the paywall. You know the rules. You want those stories, you've got to pay for them. But the exchanges between Mrs. Always Lying and Pfizer, of course, were also against the rules. And Ursula Always Lying said it was just friendly notes, and they let her off. All right, so there was also trade agreement leakage. So, there's, according to Follow the Money, the Ombudsman ain't going to do anything, but Ursula von der Leyen has broken the law 3 times now, but there has been a little comeuppance. Now, Germany has been building up militarily, but they've decided that 18 billion euros for a warship, which, let's see. How much is a destroyer? Between 1 and 9 billion. So 18 billion for one warship? Yeah. Ursula definitely wants the big kickbacks, and I tell you what, double the price of the normal even the crooks in Russia are going, damn. Even the generals in China are going, damn, it took me 20 years to steal 1 billion, and she's the one stealing 9 in one hit. Damn! The amount of corruption in the world, they're all looking at Ursula and going, my queen! It's terrible, man, but this is a liberal establishment, and people keep voting for it. You keep getting what you vote for. Battle Group Server, this is the group the North has expanded its control zone, while the Ukraine and so far we have confirmation that they have exchanged artillery with Ukraine. Ukraine is claiming no such destruction took place, but there are plenty of people on Telegram saying, yeah, backing up, mass evacuations, injuries of Russian bombardment all the way down here. And definitely reporting Russians all up and down the border and all this area, though not reported, it had actually been evacuated. So the Ukrainians are holding the line here, and the intense battle. Sorry, holding the line up here, and there's an intense battle. But it's nowhere near Sumy. Sumy got hit earlier. But yeah, the Russians, small breakthrough up here, small attacks along the border, small amount of territory, but the Ukrainians haven't completely collapsed. But they are in a panic up here with Russian build-up. The Russians have built up their forces. And this was in response to the Ukrainians building up their forces up here. Everything is retaliation, yet people don't, yet Ukraine waits and then goes, oh, we're under attack. And it's like, yeah, but you attacked them a week ago. And all the goldfish out there go, no, they didn't. Wait, you're a waste of time if you think that Russia is not retaliating. Carefully and in controlled matches. And again, a lot of it is to study how, if Ukraine is provoking a response, they want to see what Europe does when Russia responds. So Russia, to see what the trap is like, is only poking back. But they are slowly increasing. Now there's talk of a 1,200 missile strike or something. I don't see it yet, but maybe this weekend there will be a large drone and missile strike on. That's the rumor. Large drone and missile strike. If I'm wrong, there's a lot of people who get to live. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. But rumor has it that they want to put, pressure to push Russia out of Kaliningrad, naval blockade of the Baltic. That ain't going to end well. I don't like the fact that, but the people of Kaliningrad did vote to remain part of the Russian Federation, though it was captured in World War II. It should have been handed back to Germany, though Poland wants it. Yeah. Remember, Poland used to be part of Germany, but they broke off long ago, and the Slavic population, ever increasing, has pretty much pushed the Germans out. You let them in, you have no one to blame but yourselves. Which is why they're all crying now about pushback, but hey, damn you boomers, right? So, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please support the channel. You can support the channel with a donation on Ko-Fi. You can join my Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. That's empirevalves.myshopify.com. All my links are in the link tree, which you'll find in the description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video. Bye for now.